Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Wednesday, the 23rd of April 2025, St George's Day. We're going to start off with this. This is from the South London Press on londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall midfielder hoping to extend his stay. Billy Mitchell wants to stay at Millwall and has confirmed the South London Press's exclusive story that the Championship side have an option to extend his contract by a further 12 months. The 24-year-old midfielder has featured 166 times for the Lions and came through their academy ranks. Mitchell is due to be a free agent at the end of June, but Millwall will have an extension trigger they can activate. Mill will have an option on me to extend the contract on the same terms into next season. He told our paper last week before a calf injury ruled him out of their Easter matches. I've not really spoken to them about it yet. I know they're going to be very busy with a lot of the other players. I'm sure we'll get around to it at some point. I don't really have much on that from my point. I just want to keep going out and playing as well as possible. Prove again that I can get back to the highs I felt I hit a couple of years ago when I was playing pretty much every game. So, if so, then I'm sure there will be a conversation to be had with the club. So is his contractual situation something he churns over? It doesn't come into my head. Honestly, I don't think about it. I know it'll get dealt with at some point, in the way it needs to. I know there's nothing I can really do about it apart from going out there and performing. Would I like to be here? Oh yeah, of course. I look at clubs around us in the Championship, and we always have as good a chance as anyone of making the playoffs. So not only that, from a location perspective, I get to live at home with my family and be on the doorstep of probably the best city in the country. The club is a short commute. It's also aspirational. I feel like gradually over the past few years, no matter the manager and signings we've made, it's always been progressing in the right direction. And it's a great club to be a part of, and I've been here for a long time, and I feel comfortable around everyone who is here, and I've started to play better, and I've felt more well received. So yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, but so it's on the same terms. Obviously, when he signed his contract, was it a 3-year, 2-year? And that would have been, there's an extra year, but it's at the same terms. There's no increase. There's no nothing extra. So it looks like he's happy to take that on. He's not going to be looking for a little bit more money here or a little bit more money there. And we see how you go. But again, we were told before, that they're not going to start talking. Was it in January? No, I think it was just after the January transfer window closed. Steve Gallen gave an interview to Mill TV, and he said, we're going to start talking to the players once we know what league we're going to be in next season, or words to that effect. Paraphrasing him. And technically, does that do they still think we're going to get? There is a chance that we could go up. Because the way they've been acting, it doesn't seem like they're trying to make that happen. We haven't got an emergency goalkeeper on loan. Obviously, that can still be done right up until about 1 o'clock on Saturday. They started hiring out the pitch, the Den pitch for May, which included the dates of the playoff semi-finals. So it almost feels like they gave up, and then the players and the manager haven't. That they kept on going, and now we've got a very slim, I think it's something like 9% chance of going up, or no, 9% of just getting into the playoffs. When you imagine, percent, it goes all the way up to 100. So we're only 9 out of 100 to go up or to get into the playoffs, and then you've got to win them and go up. So maybe Steve Gallen thinks they're not going to wait. They're going to, obviously, when he said that, they were talking about relegation because they thought, there might be a chance that we could go down, and then they obviously, if that happened, they'll just literally any player that's out of contract will be cut adrift, because you need to cut the costs, need to cut the wage bill. But now it's up the other end. So, but, if we go up, the thing not to do is to spend money to stay up. And you think, well, that's fucking stupid. Why wouldn't you do that? Well, because Luton have done that. And they're now heading into League One. And then other clubs, like your Fulhams and your Sheffield Uniteds, they went up. When they did go up, they sold their best players. So, well, that seems really weird. Why would you do that? And then they barely spent any money. They knew they were going to get relegated. They did get relegated. They went down with a large amount of money. Then they spent the money to, guess what? Go back up again. And they've basically on the brink of doing that. So that's the model. Because if you do that 2 or 3 times, players are going to know, hey, this is a team that goes into the Premier League. They might not be there now, but they're in the Championship. But they might go up, so I might join them. So you attract more opportunities of players wanting to join you, and they're cheaper. If you're a Premier League club, they know you've got the money, obviously, and then they know you're going to spend it. So, and you'll have to buy a player that is of a Premier League quality. Whereas if you're in the Championship, looking to get promoted, you can buy a player that's maybe there or thereabouts, and you bring him in and you hope that he improves and he gets better, and then he can do it in the Premier League. So again, we're waiting to see. So are the players, but we'll see how we go. But he's very, very confident. He's 24 years old. He's played hundreds of games of football, quite a few of them at this level, Division 2 of the English football system. If they let him walk out on a free, obviously they're going to have to pay training compensation based around the FIFA whatever, because he is homegrown. But who wouldn't take him? The clubs will be queuing up to take him. QPR probably fucking sign him. QPR, Charlton, loads. But so still, we haven't had any news of any contract signings at all. None whatsoever. You think they would have? They've got loads to do. You would think they would have announced one of them. But are they even talking to him? Because he says here, it doesn't seem they're even talking to him. I'm sure we'll get to around to it at some point. So they haven't even sorted that out. They haven't done anything. What's going on? What is going on? No one's speaking to anyone about any new contracts. Are they gonna get rid of everyone and bring in? They're gonna bring in like a dozen foreign imports from Serbia, from other places. I don't know. Seems very weird. Seems very weird to me. But what can you do? What can you do? Now, we've also got this, also from the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. Slow burner. Millwall head coach's satisfaction at home form. Millwall head coach Alex Neil has underlined the significance of the recent home form and highlighted the strong relationship between players and fans as the South Londoners continue their pursuits of a Championship playoff spot. Speaking after the Lions' 4th consecutive home win, a 3-1 success over Norwich City on Easter Monday, Neil praised the togetherness in the squad and the momentum building at the Den. The teams we're facing at the moment, Middlesbrough, Sheffield United, Norwich, they're tough teams to beat. We're going into each game, attacking it as if it's our last game and trying to win it, putting everything we can into it and seeing where it takes us at the end of it. While Mill's away form improved quickly after Neil's arrival, the head coach admits the turnaround at home took a little longer, but is now proving vital in their bid to finish in the top 6. home form, to get the fans on side, to get that belief. It's really important. And that was something I spoke about when I first came here, because although we sorted the away form really quickly, the home form's been a little bit of a slow burner. But 4 home wins on the bounce, some really tough games that we've had here, and it gets the fans right behind the players, and there's a great connection at the minute between the fans and the players, and it's something we want to maintain. Neil also praised the resilience shown by Chelsea loanee Zach Sturge, making his first start for the club. I hate not having balance in my back line. He wasn't ready for Blackburn. If he was, he would have started, so we had to go with a light-footed left back, which is really difficult. He started a bit nervously, you could see it in the changing room, but it's his first start. It's a big milestone for these lads, and the magnitude of the game being at home in such an important match, it meant a lot, but how it went about was great, and I was really pleased for him. Yeah. Yes. Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, mentioned this yesterday. I told you about this yesterday, but we've got some. I had to basically go onto Mill's Instagram to show you, because this is a visual platform. It's show don't tell. I got to show you, so I can show you more clearly now. The man with no head. How did he do his tie up? Who did his tie up for him? He's got busted hand. Japhet Tanganga wins 24-25 MSC Player of the Year award. Yes, he did. He did. Millwall Football Club is delighted to announce that Japhet Tanganga has won Millwall Supporters Club 24-25 Player of the Season award. The defender fought off competition from Kasper Noah and Mihajlo Ivanovic, who finished in 2nd and 3rd place respectively, to win the title. Tanganga claimed a hat-trick at Tuesday night's end-of-season awards night, also winning the Players' Player of the Season trophy and the Junior Lions Player of the Season vote. Ivanovic, meanwhile, also got the Young Player of the Season award and the Goal of the Season vote for his stunning effort at Luton Town. Elsewhere, Mill under-14s goalkeeper Arnas Zajankuskas claimed the first ever Matija Sarkic award for an outstanding save of the season against Portsmouth, with Cara Watling taking home the Millwall Lionesses Player of the Season. Sheldon Kendall picked up the Academy Player of the Season crown, whilst other awards went to Katie Bassett and Alec Jones. A selection of the images from the end of season awards night can be seen below, whilst a selection of trophies and the winners will be presented to the crowd before Saturday's home fixture against Swansea City. So, even though they've been given the trophies, he's got the trophies in his hand, they're going to do it all again in front of the crowd. Deja vu, anyone? And here we go. That is not a Windsor knot. What kind of knot is that? Bow tie there. Do you think it's a real one or is it clip-on? Looks real to me. You've got some pictures. Don't clap. Please don't clap, bruv. Just bang your hand on the table. Do not clap. Table 19. Tonight's sponsors: RTL Group, Wicket Group and Birdies. More on that in a minute. Goal of the season. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Is that a shoe that they painted gold? Or is that an actual gold? Well, it's not gold. It's not gold, It's probably just, Is it plastic? Do you think it's plastic? Is that plastic? I don't know. Although, is that Puma? Is that Puma? Why is it Puma? Yeah, it is Puma. They must have got that somewhere, and they've just put their own thing on it. It's Puma. Why is it Puma? I don't know. There you go. Now, can you name those two players? I bet you can't. I bet you can name probably 2 of them. There is the missing man. The man who has been missing. Adama Maku, Zach Sturge, and Benicio Baker. Yes. Andy Marshall there. Wow. Samuel Negley, Duncan Watmore. He's alive. He's alive. I imagine, yeah, it must be kind of weird as a player, you know. If you're not playing and you ain't played for a while, you have to go to things like this. Almost certainly as well, you know, if you know you're not going to be around, if you know you probably know you're not going to be around next season as well, and you know, are they contractually obligated to turn up at the end of the season awards? Don't know. It's very weird. Alex Neil there. Scrubs up well. And we're back round to the beginning. So there you go. So yeah. So they've done multiple stories about this. This is again from millfc.co.uk. But on that original, the one that I just showed you, they basically told us everything that happened anyway. So, oh, this is for an interview. Okay, there's an interview. Okay, that makes sense then. I guess this is for an interview as well then, yeah? Yeah. So, yeah. Cool stuff. So, you may see there, if you look behind the guy on the left-hand side, whose head you can see, you may notice, you know, there is an hoarding there with, which looks like, you know, companies' names on, you know, they've seemingly sponsored or contributed to, you know, the end of season awards. So let's just, you know, let's pay it forward. Let's have a little look. Wicket Group, you know, you may know them. I think they sponsored the shirts some time ago, or maybe the training kits, certainly. Yeah, wicketgroup.com. What they do, they're a maintenance firm. Basically, they're on hand for all situations, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So if you have something to maintain, but you don't want to employ your own maintenance people, you outsource it to them. That's what they do. And there you go. These are all the things that they use, you know, various councils and whatnot, and, you know, home companies. That's what they do. So that's Wicket Group. And the other one there was RTL Group. And they are looks to be this is from RTL Group Ltd.co.uk. They seem to be a recruitment firm in terms of job listings for the construction industry. So UK's leading civil engineer provider, your trusted partner in construction and engineering recruitment. So, you know, specifying in engineering stuff, connecting skilled professionals with top industry roles. So there you go. If you're in engineering and you want a job, there you go. You know, £500 a day for a construction manager. The only thing is in Neath. Neath is in South Wales, so, you know, com si com sa, you win and you lose. Now, moving on to this one. Birdies is crazy golf, apparently. This is playbirdies.com. They only have 2 venues. And this is a bit of a weird one, because, you know, like, what's... Because obviously, you know, the Millwall fans, you know, obviously they've started up construction businesses and whatnot, you know, and, you know, it kind of makes sense that when they're successful, they would then, you know, be involved in sponsoring events at Millwall Football Club. But, you know, wondering what this is about. Is this run by Millwall fans, or why were they sponsoring the end of season awards? Very weird, especially, you know, they've got 2 venues, one in Angel and one Battersea. Obviously, one is in South London, but Battersea, but, you know. And apparently, looking into it, they have an office. I don't know if it's their head office in Peckham, you know, just off of Rye Lane. So maybe they are locals. I don't know. But yeah. So I like this. I haven't been here, but I have been to Crazy Golf. I've been to the Swingers one in the City of London, and I think others. But going to places like that I've been to before, they're dark and they're dimly lit, and that's on purpose. They're trying to like evoke some kind of like dive bar aesthetic. Whereas this, I love this. Look how bright and shiny this is. This is the future, you know. You can see what you're doing, you know. I love it. It's very bright. I might go down there. So yeah, you know, if you are looking for a venue for a work thing or something, you know, or just a mates outing, you know, stag do. Birdies Golf Club, who have sponsored Millwall, so you know, let's help. They're helping us. Let's help them. Angel or Battersea Power Station, you know, all the stuff that they're building up there. So there you go. Isn't it great? Oh look, kids parties. Why not? So there you go. That's playbirdies.com. Now moving on to this, the under 21 game today. It was always going to be a bit of a uphill battle. As expected, it was an extremely young team. The club actually announced late in the day, obviously this morning after I filmed my video yesterday, that the game was going to be shown on Millwall TV Plus, for free for Millwall TV Plus subscribers and £2.50 for everyone else. So if you watched it, you know, how was it? I missed it. But it finished 2-2, so it meant the Mill dropped points. But, you know, at least they did get 1 point. But again, it was a very young team. So a second half equaliser from Joe James was enough to secure a point for City's young Robins against Millwall. This is from Bristol City's website, so it's written from their perspective. This is bcfc.co.uk. Obviously, I imagine tomorrow we'll get the Millwall report, and I can tell you the team. I haven't pulled it up, but it was a very young team that was put out by Millwall. And as you see, we were in the lead. It was 2-1, and ended up conceding to make it 2-2. Tane Anderson had given the home side the lead after just 10 minutes, so we were behind. Then we went in front, and then it went back to 2-2. Latching onto a loose ball and firing home from close range. City had chances to extend their lead with Billy Phillips and Jed Merholz going close. But in 2 first half minutes, 7 minutes before the break, the visitors flipped the game on its head. Jadon Celestine-Charles got the better of City's defence and equalised from inside the area after a neat cross in. Probably from Carl Smith, I'd imagine, but I don't know that. Just a minute later, Jet Dyer tapped in from close range to give the Lions the lead at half-time. Bosh. Losing after 10 minutes, going at half-time in the lead. That's what we do. City came out strongly in the second half, with Ollie Thomas getting into a great position in the 18-yard box, but he shot sailed over the bar. Just before the hour mark, Raekwon Nelson was replaced by Marley Rose. There was also a long-awaited return to action for Ayman Benarous, who came on with 20 minutes to play. Tim Apsion also came on. It was Kai Churchley and Billy Phillips who left the field. Well, that's good to know. And there's a ball boy there, because obviously it was behind closed doors. The equaliser came with 15 minutes to play as James rose highest to bury the ball into the back of the net. Benarous almost snatched a winner when he won and took a free kick on the edge of the penalty area, but Mill managed to clear their lines. City's, I don't care about that. So there you go. Drop some points. So what that does is it resets it, much like this website's done to what I just had lined up. It resets it to how it was a couple of weeks ago, in that although we are in the advantageous position of being on top, but the other teams now have a game in hand on us, which is how it was before, but we managed to win through and we're on top of the table. So obviously possession is 9/10 of the law. We are in the possession of the top spot. The two teams chasing us or have a game in hand on us. So if they both win their next games, we could drop down to third, which would be unfortunate indeed. And let's see if it actually brings up the team here. I don't think it does, no. No. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to bring it up. Okay, so what we have going on, if you missed it when I told you last time, on the 25th, so on Friday, there's games on Friday, Brentford versus QPR. Brentford are away. Does that help us? Maybe, maybe not. And then who are we looking at for Bournemouth? So on the 28th, which is Monday, Bournemouth have to go away to Coventry. So again, that might be helpful. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff, so what time would Bournemouth have to wake up to get to that game? I don't know. Maybe that's helpful. And then Brentford play again before we play. So they could almost certainly go above us because they got 2 games before we play again. And our next game is on Tuesday the 29th away at Wigan, which at the moment is set to be in the JJB. So Brentford have 2 games next week on Friday and Monday they're playing. And then we play Wigan away. And where are Bournemouth not playing again? Doesn't look like. Oh, there they go. So they're playing on Friday. So yeah, interesting stuff indeed. So there you go. Now that is the news for today, but obviously I forgot or kind of left out yesterday the stats from the Norwich game, so we're going to talk about that. If you're not sticking around for that, thank you for watching, but if you are, here we go. Obviously, this is the match report from WhoScored.com. They have given the man of the match, or the top performer, to George Saville with his 2 assists and defensive work. 8.5, just ahead of the guy who scored 2 goals, Ivanovic, 8.4. Firmi Aziz, then Kramer, and then Shane Duffy, the other goal scorer. So, Millwall created a high number of chances relative to their possession, were effective at creating goal-scoring opportunities through individual skill, from the flanks, from set pieces, and we were strong at finishing. We lost possession often, we gave away a lot of free kicks around the box. We had a large quantity of possession in our opponent's half, we attacked through the middle, we had a high shot frequency. When in possession, we favoured crossing the ball, we favoured long balls, we favoured through balls. And here are the attempts on goal. 16-4, 9-2 open play, 6-2 set piece, 1-0 counter attack. And that means this. So again, all of you saying we don't need a goalkeeper, we need a goalkeeper. Their conversion rate is 25%. They scored 1 goal from 4 shots. Okay. If we want to give ourselves a chance, we do need an emergency goalkeeper. Now, obviously, we need the right guy, but we'll see how we go. We scored 3 goals from 16 shots. That's 18% conversion rate. You can see we were slightly going down the left-hand side, but pretty even, and they were going down both wings more than down the middle. If we look at the shot directions, the shot zones, and obviously 50% of their shots were in the 6-yard box. Action zones, player positions. Nice. A look at that. Very clearly delineated Millwall formation. 4-4-2. And the 2 are off to the right, off centre to the right. Why? To give space to get on the end of Aziz's crosses, because he was the one running down the wing putting the crosses in. So, but again, I said this before as a criticism, they were both going down the same post. One of them needs to come forward and one of them needs to go to the back post. You can't both be going to the back post. Don't make no fucking sense. I guess maybe it does, because then you have 2 opportunities, and it works out with a goal, because it kind of the one that just hit Thingy's knee, because they were literally standing next to each other. So maybe it does cause a bit of chaos if you have two target men players literally standing 5 yards apart, but it worked for this game, but the other game it didn't work, which I can't remember, but it's an away game a while ago, can't remember, but I moaned about it at the time. So they were both standing in the same area. It didn't make no sense to me, but there you go. And Kundal, so basically Kundal tucking in. Is it Kundal 25? Yeah, he's tucking in. Basically, so it's a 4-4-2, but it goes to 4-3-3 when Aziz runs forward. Why not? So yeah, that's that. Now let's have a look at obviously the match events. The goal after 8 minutes, the goal after 39 minutes, and the goal in the first half. The substitutions, obviously they were the first ones to make the substitutions. Which is always telling when the team makes the substitutions, tactical ones, obviously not an injury-based one. And that didn't seem to help at all, because we scored shortly afterwards. And then they made a few more substitutions, and then we made our own. So, if you look at the top left and the top right, where the club badges are, you can see the average player rating for each team, and it's 6.81 for Millwall and 6.26 for Norwich. So that is quite a difference. Certainly the better team. Crowd of 16,426. And if we look at Millwall, obviously Saville got the man of the match, 8.5. Then Ivanovic, 8.4. Denor, the lowest it seems of the starting 11, 6.2. And then George Evans was 6.3. Yeah, quite a few dud performances from Norwich. Reyes 5.6, Swartar 5.9. So, who did what in the game? Total shots 16-4. There you go. Aziz with 5, Ivanovic with 2, Kundal with 2, Coburn with none. Is that right? Man, I guess he was playing diversion. But again, that's the thing when you're looking at stats, and Alex Neil has been very keen to praise Coburn when everyone's saying, "Oh, isn't it great how well Mihailo is doing?" Or because Mihailo's playing in a 2 up front, with Coburn. If he was playing 1 up front, he wouldn't be scoring his goals. He wouldn't be playing half as well, and we know that because he wasn't. In the start of the season when he was playing 1 up front. So, I know Coburn gets a lot of stick, but that seems to be unwarranted. If you actually watch what he does, he's very good with it. I think he needs to, obviously he's still very young as well. He needs to sharpen up a bit as well, but. I'm not saying he's the finished product. I'm not saying he's amazing, but I don't think he's better than what a lot of you think he is, and that's for sure. Denor with 3 shots. Okay. Possession 41-58, so not that bad. Most of the ball was with George Saville, 5.7% of the match time with George Saville. Okay. Pass success percentage 73-79. Not bad. Tanganga 83, Zach Sturge 86. Kundal 85. Crammer 52. Was Crammer the long ball out? Maybe. Cool. And Evans 48. Dribbles 4-7. Aerials 115-18. Again, Coburn didn't win an aerial. Man. Okay. Tackles 15-17. Crammer with 8. That's a lot of tackles. That's more than half of the team's tackles. More than everyone else on the rest of the Millwall team. Corners 5-4. These are the players who won the corners. Dispossessed 10-10. That's having the ball taken off of you by the opposition. Okay, so let's have a go and look at this from it's basically clearer stats, without the graphics. These are the ratings. George Savile 8.51, then Ivanovic 8.40, and then Femi Aziz 7.85, then Tristan Kramer 7.66. No surprise with all those tackles. Then it drops off quite a bit to Luke Condor in 5th with 7.01. Then we go into Josh Coburn. For his numbers don't look that good, but how's he getting a 6.82? Huh? If he's that bad, how's he getting a 6.82? Didn't even have a shot. He's a striker that didn't have a shot. He's the 6th highest rated player. Tanganga 6.76, then it drops off. Zach Sturge 6.66, not bad on his debut. And then George Evans 6.3, and Casper Nord is below him. And Casper Nord, the lowest of the starting 11, and then all of the subs are below, which as you would expect. They've had less than 10 minutes on the pitch for Ryan Wintle. Got 6.11, as expected, there you go. So shots, how many did we have? Was it 16, 19, something like that? I can't be bothered to count, so I'm going to go back 16. So, we had 16 shots. How many were on target? Doesn't look like a lot. 5. So yeah, that's what we need to do. That's how it is for us. We have to create a lot of chances to score the amount of goals that we scored. But man, to score 3 goals from just 5 shots on target, that is pretty decent. And it's no surprise that the keeper that we're up against is their 3rd choice goalkeeper. And you can see that basically they didn't want to play George long because he conceded 5 goals last week or on Good Friday, and they swapped him out for this guy. He's their 3rd choice, and he's conceded 3 goals from 5 shots on target. Quite a mean feat. If we go through, we're offside a lot. We normally are. Only 2 this week. Defensive stuff. So as we've seen, Kramer's had a load of tackles. Not bad. Crunching Kramer tackle. 8. Zach Sturge with 2. Cundall with 2. Cool. Interceptions. George Savile with 5. Kramer with 3. Luke Cundall with 2. So I think Kramer was like up against that Sainz, wasn't he? So that's that's the top scorer in the league. He made him look like he wasn't even in the league. Clearances. This is it. Changanga 8. That's what you want. So that they don't have a lot of shots on target, because we've got a kid playing in goal. Jake Cooper with 5, Kramer with 3, Zach Sturge with 2. Block shots. Obviously they didn't have a lot of shots, so there wasn't that many shots to block. So it's just the 1. While we're here, if we go down and see how many shots did I have, they had 4 shots. How many were on target? 1. They scored 1 goal from 1 shot on target. It was a header, but this, and we did very, very well to restrict them to 4 shots. But they got 1 shot on target and it was a goal. If they would have got 2 on target, they could have scored 2 goals. If they could have got 3 on target, they could have got 3 goals. Because we need a better goalkeeper in goal. And that's no offence, That's the reality of the situation. Yeah. We're going to finish by looking at fbref.com. So the XG for the game, 1.8 to 0.4. So we overperformed our XG, and they overperformed theirs as well. It should have been 2-0. It was 3-1. So, possession 41 to 59. Passing accuracy 69% to 78%. 380 passes for us, 541 for them. We had 5 of 16 shots on target, which is 31%. They had 1 of 4, which is 25%. Our keeper did not make a save. Their keeper made 2 saves, which prevented 2 goals. But he couldn't prevent the other 3, so we scored 3 goals. We got 1 yellow card, they got 3. Fouls 10 to 9, corners 5 to 4, crosses 25 to 17, touches of the ball 499 to 649, tackles 15 to 17, interceptions 15 to 4, aerials 115 to 18, clearances 26 to 39, offsides 2 to 1, goal kicks 8 to 8, throw-ins 18 to 36, and long balls 83 to 76. So here we go. What are we looking at first? I don't know. Shot creating actions. So, as it says there, 2 offensive actions directly leading to a shot. And one player can be involved in multiple shot creating actions on the same thing. So he could have 2 shot creating actions in the same shot. So these basically the most attacking players. And this is a shock. Luke Cundle with 8. That's interesting. Okay. Jules Saville with 6. Probably explains his high score on the other side. And then Josh Coburn. Again, similar. And then Femi Aziz. So obviously Femi Aziz is looking like he's actually, doing a lot of attacking stuff. Directly assisting. But you've got these other players who are involved. Cundle and Saville. And Coburn. Also up there. So, passing. If we look at, so again, one thing that is very impressive with George Evans is his passing. His passing is top notch, absolutely top notch. 100% on his short passing, 100% on his medium passing. And 40% on long passes, which that's pretty decent. Actually, sometimes it's for a goalkeeper who takes long kicks. It's can be as low as like 25%. So to get 40% on his long kicks, that's pretty decent. That is pretty decent. What else are we looking at? Okay. Pass types. Defensive actions. Possession of the ball. So dribbling. Take-ons is dribbling. Successful and attempted. Or attempted and successful. So Femi's is 2 of 2, so 100%. Josh Coburn 1 of 2. Luke Cundle 0 for 2. Ivanovic 0 for 2, Saville 0 for 1, Zach Sturridge 0 for 2, and Tanganga 1 of 1. Carries of the ball. Now I like this. So total distance in yards. A player moves the ball while controlling it with their feet in any direction. Progressive distance. Player getting on the ball, but going forwards towards the opponent's goal line. And you've got Josh Coburn, 18 carries, 92 yards. 41 yards towards the goal. Femi's is 26, 198 yards, 63 yards of that was forwards. But this is good. 166 yards, 24 carries, 79 yards forwards. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So let's have a look at aerial duels. One last while we're here. Josh Coburn, 0 of 3. Femi's is 3 wins, 2 defeats. Luke Cundle, 0 of 2. Ivanovic, 4 of 3, so 57%. George Saville, 0 for 1. Wintle, 0 for 1. Cooper, 3 of 3. Kramer, 4 of 2. 66.7. And Tanganga, 1 of 0. So there you go. Moving on now to the goalkeeper. So shots on target against 1, goals against 1, saves 0, save percentage 0, post shot XG 0.3. So again, that's not good, because post shot XG is, see, there's an XG from where you are when the shot is taken. The post shot XG is based on where the defending players are, and the fact that that's 0.3 and they've ended up with a goal is not that good. 20 attempts long, 7 completed, completion percentage of 35%. Passes, 21 attempts, 4 throws, launch percentage of 71.4, so quite some short passing. 47.3 yards average length of passing. Goal kicks 8, only 62.5 of it were bombed forward, and the average length was 46 yards. Now, this is interesting. Crosses into the box by the opponent, 12. Stopped 2 times. He came out for 2 crosses. So he stopped 16.7%, which, you know, our goalkeepers don't normally do that. So even though he didn't save a shot, obviously there was only 1 to save. He didn't save that 1. There were 3 others that weren't on target. He did come out for 2 crosses. So that is good. And his average distance from his goal line is 11.4 yards. So let's go down and have a look. This is just all the shots in the game. And as you can see, the second half, Millwall, Norwich. Norwich's first shot in the second half was in injury time as an off-target header from 5 yards out. Wow. Now here's the thing. We heard yesterday, if you watched yesterday's video, what did Alex Neil do at half time? He was wondering if he should tell the players that every single result was going in our favour. And he said eventually he decided that he should tell them. And look at the fucking results. Boom. They're on fire. They came out like a greyhound out of the tracks. Boom. So yeah. So here's the thing. Alex Neil, in the Swansea game, at half time, even if it's not true, tell them the same thing. Tell them, hey, whoa, we're in 6th place. Whoa, like, oh man, this team's losing. Go out there, look. Even if it's not true, how would they know? You know what I mean? Do they have the phones in the changing room? I should hope not. But yeah, we scored with our first goal of the game. Not bad. 0.37 XG, which jumps up to 0.97. Which means it was it was good. 7 yard left foot. And after that, we've got off target from Jake Guber, blocked from Femi Aziz, blocked from Casper Denor, Josh Sargent off target, Femi Aziz off target, and again 7 yards, 7 is the lucky number, header, 0.26 jumps up to 0.87, goal. And then blocked from Josh Sargent, and then they score again from 6 yards, so close. So you get in that area, get close to the goal, you end up scoring. Deflected apparently. Did it get deflected? Who deflected it? 0.06 and 0.28. Second half, half time, the players get told, hey, all the results are going in our favour, let's go and fucking get this game. And then boom, off target from Jules Saville, saved from Femi Aziz, 0.12 to 0.39, 8 yards left footed. Luke Cundle, 0.04 to 0.53, 22 yards right footed, deflected. And then Luke Cundle again blocked. Tristan Crammer off target. Ivanovic goal, 5 yards header, 0.14 to 0.63. And then we've got Casper blocked, Casper off target, Femi Aziz off target, and then Jose Cordoba off target. So there you go. How was that? And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.